Hello all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 9, Mmpc 008. It is Building Information System. So, structure of this unit are, there is an introduction part, objectives, computer-based information systems and its classification. And under this, there is office automation system, communication system, transaction processing system, enterprise information system, decision support system, execution system, going beyond the information system categories, etc. And next is redesigning the organization with the information system, business values of information system, outsourcing information system, and under this, advantage and disadvantage of outsourcing, when to use outsourcing, and ensuring quality with information system, summary, unit and exercise, reference section, etc. And let's begin with the introduction part of this unit. An information system, it is a set of people, procedure and resource that collect, transform and disseminate information in an organization. The world over, today's end users rely on many types of information system, that is IS, and automation has penetrated everywhere and in every field of life. In this unit, we will concentrate on computer-based information systems that use hardware, software, communication technology and other forms of information technology, IT, to transform data resources into a variety of information product. And four kind of organizational changes are enabled by information system. These are automation, rationalization, re-engineering and paradigm shift. And when an organization does not use its internal resource to build and operate information system, it takes help of other organizations to provide these services. This is called outsourcing. And there are advantages and disadvantages of using outsourcing. Quality programs differ greatly from company to company, and some are merely generalized sales campaigns intended to sensitize employees to the need to strive for more quality in their daily work. And at the opposite extreme, quality programs can result in fundamental changes in the way a company does its business. Companies also follow different routes in achieving quality, and whatever route a company selects, the more it tries to achieve with its quality programs, the more information system can contribute the success of those programs. And objectives of this unit are: identify different type of information system, explain the impact of information system on doing business, describe about planned organizational change, understand the business values of information system, enumerate the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing information system, and discuss how IS can be used to ensure quality. And computer based information system and its classification. A computer based information system uses the resources of people and end users and IS specialized hardware, machines and media, and software, programs and procedures to perform input processing, output storage and control activities that convert data resources into information products as shown in figure 9.1, that is the component of an information system. And input of data resources, processing data into information, output of information product, and processing data into control of system performance, that is again it convert to processing data into information, and then storage of data resources. Okay, so this is data resource, data model and knowledge basis. So you just please refer this figure. And before going into the details of computer based information system, let us first discuss about a system. A system is a group of interrelated components working together toward a common goal by accepting input and producing output through an organized transformation process. Such as a system, sometimes called a dynamic system, has three basic interacting components or functions. And input involves capturing and assembling elements that enter the system to be processed. An example, raw material, energy, data and human effort must be secured and organized for processing. And processing involves transformation process that convert input into output. and output involves transferring elements that have been produced by a transformation process to their ultimate destination. And the system concept can be made even more useful by including two additional components, feedback and control. A system with feedback and control component is sometimes called a cybernetic system, that is a self-monitoring, self-regulating system. Feedback is data about the performance of a system, and for example, data about sales performance is feedback to a sales manager. And control involves monitoring and evaluating feedback to determine whether a system is moving toward the achievement of its goal. The control function then makes necessary adjustment to a system's input and processing component to ensure that it produces proper output. And this information system model highlights the relationship among the component and activities of information system, and it provides a framework that emphasizes four major concepts that can be applied to all type of information system. And people, hardware, software and data are the four basic resources of information system. And people resource include end users and IS specialists like programmers, systems analysts, system and network expert, etc. Hardware resources consist of machines and media. Software resources include both program and procedures, and the data resource can include data, model and knowledge base. Data resources are transformed by information processing activities into a variety of information product for end users. Information process consists of input, processing, output, storage and control activities. And basic IS model shown in the figure given table 9.1. So this is a table. There is different resources of information system. There is people resource, hardware resource, software resource, data resource and information products. Okay, so you just refer this table. You will get an idea about the different resources of information system from this. And there are many kind of information system in the real world. All of them use hardware, software and people resource to transform data resource into information products. So type of information system, although the people often think of information system as tool for decision making, each type of information system support both communication and decision making in a number of ways. So here is one table 2, 9.2. There is system type, typical user, impact on communication, impact on decision making. There is 4 columns. So this is based on typical ways each type of information system support communication and decision making. Okay, so you just refer this table also, so you will get more idea about that. So please read this from this unit 9 of Mmpc 008. Okay, so one of the reason the various categories are mentioned frequently is that each is used in very functional areas of business, and table 3 is based on example of each type of information system in 3 functional areas of business. So there is system type, sales example, manufacturing and finance. This is the 3 functional areas of business. So based on there is system type also. Okay, so refer this table also. It is a little bit lengthy table, so in between any doubts you can contact us anytime. And activity A is here based on this, if try to do it. And office automation system, what is office automation system? An office automation system facilitate everyday information processing tasks in office and business organizations, and these systems include a wide range of tools such as spreadsheet, word processor and presentation package. Although the telephones, email, Vmail and social media can be included in this category, so we will treat communication system as a separate category. And OAS, that is office automation system, help people perform personal record keeping, writing and calculation costs efficiently. Of all the system types, OAS and communication system are the most familiar to students. Tools generally grouped within the OAS category include: spreadsheet are an efficient method for performing calculation that can be visualized in terms of the cells of a spreadsheet. And although spreadsheet program seems second nature today, the first spreadsheet program was VisiCalc which helped create the demand for the first personal computers in the late 1970s. And a text and image processing system store, revise and print documents containing text or image data. This system started with a simple work processor but have evolved to include desktop publishing system for creating complex documents ranging from brochures to book chapters, and presentation packages help managers develop presentation independently instead of working with the typist and technical artist. These products automatically convert outlines into printed pages containing appropriately spaced titles and subtitles. These pages can be copied directly onto transparencies or slides used in presentations. And when using this tool for personal productivity purpose, users can apply any approach they want because the work is unstructured. In this situation, some individuals use them extensively and enjoy major efficiency benefits, and whereas others do not use them at all. And the same tool can also be used for broader purpose, however, in which they are incorporated into larger system that organization use to structure and routinize the task. Communication system. Electronic communication system help people work together by exchanging or sharing information in many different forms. Every day we come across a lot of communications through social media to such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. New communication capabilities have changed the way many business operate by making it possible to do many things at a distance that previously required being present in a specific location. And teleconferencing, the use of electronic transmission to permit same time, different place meeting is called teleconferencing. We can think of a traditional telephone calls as a minimal teleconference, but the term is normally applied to other options including audio conferencing, audiographic conferencing and video conferencing. And the distinction between these approaches is related to the type of information that is shared. Audio conferencing is a single telephone call involving 3 or more people participating from at least 2 locations. And if several people on the call are in the same office, they can all participate using a speaker phone, which includes a high sensitivity microphone and a loudspeaker that can be heard by anyone in a room. And audiographic conferencing is an extension of audio conferencing, permitting dispersed participants to see pictures or graphical material at the same time. And this is especially useful when the purpose of the meeting is to share information that is difficult to describe, organize or visualize, such as a spreadsheet or a model used to perform calculation under different assumptions. Video conferencing is an interactive meeting involving two or more group of people who can see each other using television screens. The least expensive forms of video conferencing are tiny cameras and 4-inch screens add to telephones or separate video conferencing windows displayed on computer screens. In typical business video conferencing, remote participants appear on a television screen. And video conferencing simulates a face-to-face meeting and without requiring unnecessary travel, which absorb time and energy, not to speak of the cost of airplane and hotel bills. And however, the effectiveness of video conferencing decrease if the participants lack a prior social bond. An example also here. And a messaging system, the different time different place communication has been used for centuries in the form of books and letters, and messaging system make it possible to transmit specific message to a specific individuals or group of individuals. They use technologies such as electronic mail, voicemail and fax to make different time different place communication more effective. The use of computers to send and retrieve text messages or document addressed to individual people or location is called electronic mail, email, Each user is identified by is usually based on the person's name and also serves as the person's email address. The sender uses a word processor to create a message and then address it to a distribution list, and the distribution list might be an individual account name or a group of names such as those for the sales department or everyone working on a particular project. The recipient can read the message immediately or can wait until it is convenient. And email is effective in many situations, such as permitting you to leave a message without going through an additional person who might garble it. And with email, you can send a message to a person traveling away from the office who can log onto a network using a laptop computer. If you are working on a memo or other document and want to get feedback from someone before you distribute it, and you can use email to send it to the person for a quick response. And email also allow you to send the same message to many individuals without having to contact them individually. And there have been many innovative use of email to improve communication. People in large organizations have used it to bypass bureaucratic structures, and for example, top managers sometimes bypass intermediate management levels by obtaining specific information directly from people throughout the organization. Groupware. Groupware helps teams work together by sharing information and by controlling internal workflows. Coined in the late 1980s, the term groupware has attained wide recognition due to the increasing need for groups to work together more effectively at a distance as a result of downsizing and rapid organizational change. And product viewed as groupware are still new enough that their long term direction is unclear, even though the competitive need to work effectively in dispersed team is greater than ever. And groupware goes beyond messaging by facilitating access to document and controlling team related workflow. And many groupware products are related to specific group related tasks such as project management, scheduling meeting, and retrieving data from shared database. And Lotus Notes, a prominent product in this category, is designed for sharing text and images and containing a data structure that is a cross between a table oriented database and an outline. For example, a law firm in Seattle use Lotus and Notes to permit everyone working on a particular case to have access to the most current memos and other information about that case, and even if they are traveling. Yet other groupware functions are performed through computer conferencing, the exchange of text messages typed into computers from various locations to discuss a particular issue. When done through the internet, this is time called a new group, and a computer conference permits people in dispersed locations to combine their idea in useful way, even though they cannot speak to each other face to face. And a different type of group where product focuses primarily on the flow of work in office settings. These products provide tools for structuring the process by which information for a particular multi-step task is managed and transferred a route. And a typical example is the approval of travel expenditure. In this case, one person must propose the expenditure and someone else must approve it. Intranets and extranets. The widespread use of the World Wide Web has led many firms to apply the information sharing concept of groupware on a much larger scale by creating an additional type of communication system, intranet and extranets. And intranets, the private communication network that use the type of interface popularized by the web but are accessible only by authorized employees, contractors and customers. and they are typically used to communicate non-sensitive but broadly useful information such as recent corporate news, general product information, employees manuals, corporate policies, telephone directories, details of health insurance and other employee benefit and calendars. And extranet are private network that operate similarly to intranet but are directed at customers rather than at employees. Extranet provide information customers need such as detailed product descriptions, frequently asked questions about different products, maintenance information and warranties, and how to contact customer services and sales offices. Knowledge management, a final type of communication system, is a very different form system that support real-time communication or provide access to information. Today's leading business are increasingly aware that their employees' knowledge is one of their primary assets. In consulting companies and other organizations that rely heavily on unique competencies and methods, knowledge has more competitive significance than physical asset because the physical asset can be replaced or replenished more easily. And knowledge management system are communication system designed to facilitate the sharing of knowledge rather than just information. As with the group where the idea of knowledge management is still emerging and is applied in many different ways in different firms, and the computer application underlying knowledge management systems are often built on technologies such as intranet, electronic mail, and groupware databases and search engines. The human element is paramount in knowledge management. The companies with the best result to date with stitch and technologies together into a system that operates effectively and that is genuinely supported by the culture. Transaction processing system. A transaction processing system, that is TPS, collects and stores data about transaction and sometimes controls decisions made as part of a transaction. A transaction is a business event that generates or modifies data stores in an information system. TPS were the first computerized information system. We encounter computerized TPS frequently, including every time we write a check, use a credit card, or pay a bill sent by a company. A TPS used to record a sales and generate a recipient is primarily concerned with collecting and storing data. TPS are designed based on detailed specification for how the transaction should be performed and how to control the collection of specific data in specific data formats and in accordance with the rules, policies and goals for the organization. Most contain enough structure to enforce rules and procedures for work done by clerks or customer service agents. And a well-designed TPS checks each transaction for easily detectable errors such as missing data, data values that are obviously too high or too low, and data values that are inconsistent with the other data in the database and data in the wrong format. It may check for required authorizations for the transactions. And as anyone knows who has tried to make a reservation, when a computerized reservation system is down, organizations rely heavily on their TPS and break down, disrupt operations, and may even bring business to a complete halt. As a result, a well-designed TPS has backup and recovery procedures that minimize disruption resulting from computer outage. Batch versus real-time processing. The two type of transaction processing are batch and real-time processing. With batch processing, information for individual transaction is gathered and stored but is not processed immediately. Later, either on a schedule or when a sufficient number of transactions have accumulated, the transactions are processed to update and the database. With the real-time processing, each transaction is processed immediately and the person providing the information is typically available to a 4LP with error correction and receives confirmation of transaction completion. And batch processing is currently used in some situation where the transaction data comes in on paper, such as in processing checks and airline tickets and stubs. A batch approach is also used for generating paychecks and other forms of paper output that will be distributed after a delay. And compared to batch processing, real-time processing has more stringent requirements for computer response and computer uptime. As is obvious, when a travel agent says sorry, the computer is down, the jobs and work method of the people in the real-time TPS are designed under the assumption that the system will be up and available. Enterprise information system, many firms have tried to take a transaction processing to a higher level by creating enterprise information system that encompass the transaction processing done in the various functional silos. And the idea of this effort is to create unified databases that permit any unauthorized individual to obtain whatever information would be helpful in making decisions across the organization. In theory, at least, having all this information in a unified database should improve decision making. And enterprise information system are quite controversial because the effort to create them is enormous, and they involve much more than changing the format of databases. Often it is necessary to change business processes to suit the needs of the information system instead of vice versa. And management and executive information system, a management information system, MIS, provide information for an organization manages. The idea of MIS predates the computer age, and for example, as long ago as middle 1500s, Fogger family in Augsburg, Germany, had business interests throughout Europe and even into China and Peru. And computerized MIS generates information for monitoring performance, maintaining coordination, and providing background information about the organization's operation. User include both managers and the employee who receive feedback about performance indicators such as productivity. And the concept of MIS emerged partly as a response to the shortcomings of the first computerized TPS, which often improved transaction processing but provide little information for management. Computerized MIS typically extract and summarize data from TPS to allow managers to monitor and direct the organization and to provide employees accurate feedback about easily measured aspect of their work. And from MIS to EIS, an executive information system, EIS is a highly interactive system that provides managers and executive flexible access to information for monitoring operating results and general business conditions. These systems are sometimes called executive support system, ESS, and EIS attempt to take over where the traditional MIS approaches falls short. And although sometimes acceptable for monitoring the same indicators over time, the traditional MIS approach of providing uh, pres- pre-specified reports on a scheduled basis is too inflexible for many questions executives really care about, such as understanding problem and new situations. And EIS provides executive with internal and competitive information through user friendly interface that can be used by someone with a little computer related knowledge. And decision support system, that is DSS. A decision support system is an interactive information system that provides information models and data manipulation tools to help make decision in semi structured and unstructured situation where no one knows exactly how the decision should be made. And the traditional DSS approaches include interactive problem solving, direct use of model, and user controllable method for displaying and analyzing data and in formulating and evaluating alternative decisions. And TPS focused on record keeping and control of repetitive clerical process. MIS provide report for management but were often inflexible and unable to produce the information in a form in which managers could use it effectively. And in contrast, DSS were intended to support managers and a professional doing largely analytical work in less structured situations with unclear criteria for success, and DSS are typically designed to solve the structured part of the problem and help isolate places where judgment and experience are required. And OLAP and data mining. The use of online data analysis tools to explore large database of transaction and data is called online analytical process, OLAP. The idea of OLAP grew out of difficulties analyzing the data in databases that were being updated continually by online transaction processing system. When the analytical process assessed large slice of the transaction database, and they slow down transaction processing critical to customer relationship. And the data mining is the use of data analysis tools to try to find the pattern in large transaction database, such as the customer recipient generated in a large sample of grocery stores across the United States, and careful analysis of this data might reveal patterns that could be used for marketing promotions, such as a correlation between dapper sales and beer sales during the evening hours. Execution system. The information system categories discussed so far are primarily oriented towards planning and control activities, or toward general office and communication activities. And what about systems designed to directly support people doing the value added work that customers care about, such as participating medicine, designing building, or selling investment? Some people call these systems functional area systems, and because there is no generally accepted term form information system that support value added work, and we will call them execution system. These systems have become much more important in the last decades as the advances in computer speed, memory capacity, and probability made it increasingly possible to use computerized system directly while doing value added work. And expert systems are a type of execution system that has received attention as offshoot of artificial intelligence research. An expert system support the intellectual work of professionals engaged in design, diagnosis, or evaluation of complex situation requiring expert knowledge in a well defined area. And going beyond the information system categories, the field of IT moves so rapidly that terminology often fails to keep pace with the innovation, and the same problem occurs with the information system classification. People identify a new type of system such as DSS or EIS and describe its characteristics are no longer as important or have become commonplace. Eventually, many information systems contain characteristics from several system categories. Furthermore, a system that fits in category today may not fit once new features are added. In the mid 1990s, the widespread adoption of a form of hybrid information system called an enterprise resource planning, that is ERP, enterprise resource planning system, become highly visible and somewhat controversial. As with many IT term, the term ERP evolved out of an early form of DSS called Material Requirement Planning, MRP. This system provides an integrated view necessary to coordinate purchasing and production scheduling activities. And ERP system try to create an integrated database that spans the major activity with a company, ideally having production, sales, human resources, and finance data in the same database should make it easier to analyze the business and to coordinate decision making. Software vendors such as SAP, Microsoft, Oracle, and other such popular IT service providers currently sell ERP software, and these facilities are also available today through web in cloud technology. And these vendors analyze the basic business processes such as purchasing and of the processing variation they found. And this design strategy makes their products enormously complicated. Just figuring out which of the many options to use often takes several 100% month of time. In many situations, departments must give up existing customized system that addresses their unique problem in order to use the more general software and its integrated database. Okay, so this is about today's section, and next subsession on unit 9 we will discuss on next video. And if in case any doubts, you just contact us anytime. For more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents Ignou Mba complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.